On a warm summer afternoon in a small hillside village lived a teenage boy named Ravi. Like many in his village, he led a simple life, helping his parents in the fields, attending a nearby school, and dreaming quietly of something bigger, something he couldn't quite name. Ravi was bright, curious, and kind-hearted, but life hadn't given him many choices. Most boys in the village stopped school after grade 10 and joined their fathers in farming. That was the path laid before him too, safe, familiar, and expected. But Ravi had a secret dream. He wanted to become an engineer. The idea had first struck him when an NGO came to their school and demonstrated a small water-purifying machine. The man who spoke that day told them how innovation could change the world. Something about those words ignited a fire in Ravi. He wanted to invent things too, things that could make life better. However, dreams like that came with a price: school fees, books, travel, and the risk of failure. His parents were kind but practical. "It's a beautiful dream, Beta," his father once said, "but we have to live with what we're given." Then came the day that would define Ravi's life. He had completed his 10th board exams and scored high marks. A government scholarship was available, but it required him to move to a city hours away, live alone in a hostel, and continue his studies. His parents couldn't afford to support him beyond basic needs, and if he failed, he'd return home with nothing. He stood at a crossroad of choice: stay in the village and follow the path everyone walked, or leave everything he knew for a dream that had no guarantees. That night, Ravi didn't sleep. He walked outside under the star-filled sky and asked himself one question: if I don't try, will I regret it forever? The answer came like a whisper in the wind: yes. The next morning, with a small bag of clothes, his certificates, and 500 rupees his mother had saved for emergencies, Ravi boarded a rickety bus to the city. His eyes were filled with hope, fear, and determination. Life in the city was not easy. Ravi shared a tiny room with 3 other students. He studied under street lamps when the hostel lights went out. He worked part-time jobs, cleaning, delivering newspapers, and helping a tutor to afford food and books. There were nights he cried silently, wondering if he'd made a terrible mistake, but he didn't give up. Years passed. Ravi completed his 12th grade with top marks and got into a government engineering college. From there, doors slowly began to open. He earned an internship, built a small innovation lab at the college, and created a water purification system that won national attention. By the time he graduated, Ravi wasn't just another engineering student. He was an innovator, a symbol of resilience, and most importantly, a living story of how one brave choice could change everything. 20 years later, Ravi returned to his village, not as the boy who had left with a bag and a dream, but as Dr. Ravi Mehra, founder of a non-profit organization that provided clean water solutions to over 1,000 villages across India. He built a school, a computer center, and scholarships for village children who, like him, stood at their own crossroads of choice. At the opening of the new school, Ravi addressed a group of students seated under a large neem tree. He looked at their curious, hopeful eyes and said, "You may not control where you are born, but you do control the choices you make. One brave choice can shape your future, your family's life, and even your community's destiny." He paused, smiled gently, and added, "All it takes is one step forward. Despite fear, despite doubt, that's how journeys begin. That's how lives are changed." Moral of the story: life gives us many chances to choose. Sometimes the safe path feels right, but often, the path that scares you a little is the one that leads to growth. One bold decision, made with courage, can transform not just your life, but the lives of many others.